Most of us, when we think about the origins of economic thought, immediately think of Adam Smith, maybe Karl Marx, if we're a bit lucky, Aristotle. But there is something that usually gets overlooked, a quiet but profound truth that Western history doesn't like to talk about very much. Nearly 1,000 years ago, when there was no capitalism and no central banks, a Muslim thinker issued a warning that summarizes almost every financial crisis we experience today. He said, "When money loses its moral compass, society rots from the inside out." Looking at the world we live in today, one can't help but wonder, did he understand us better than we understand ourselves? To understand Al-Ghazali, we need to go back a bit. It's around the year 1100. Europe is poor, fragmented, still struggling in the darkness of the Middle Ages. But at the same time, the Islamic world is in a completely different place. A vast region stretching from Al-Andalus to Persian lands, rich, vibrant, and filled with cities. Baghdad, Damascus, Cairo. These are not just cities. They are centers where trade, knowledge, and money flow. Caravans carry silk, spices, and silver. Scholars debate philosophy, law, medicine, and astronomy. Markets are crowded. Money is circulating. Wealth is growing. And it is in this very environment that Abu Hamid Al-Ghazali emerges. Al-Ghazali was not someone who fit neatly into a single category. A philosopher, a jurist, a theologian, but also a sharp observer. One of the rare thinkers who could understand both the human soul and how society functions. By his mid-30s, he had reached one of the most prestigious positions of his time. He was at the very center of the system, and that was precisely what made him different, even while standing at the center. He could see that something was wrong. Everything was growing. Trade, markets, wealth, but meaning seemed to be shrinking. A society that looked prosperous from the outside, but was beginning to rot from within. Sound familiar? Al-Ghazali asked himself a simple but unsettling question. What happens when a society becomes rich before it becomes wise? And in searching for the answer, he turned to money, but not in the way we're used to. For him, money was not sacred. It was not something to be worshipped. It was merely a tool. He compared money to a mirror. A mirror has no value on its own. Its value comes from what it reflects. Money is the same. It is not meaningful because it is gold or silver, but because it allows people to trade and cooperate today. This sounds like a modern economics lecture, but Al-Ghazali was saying this in the 11th century. From this he reached a striking conclusion. Hoarded money is dead money. Wealth locked away in chests, sealed in vaults, kept out of circulation. To him this was not just useless, it was harmful to society. Because when money stops circulating, workers cannot earn wages. Trade slows down. Markets break down. People become poorer. Compared this to the freezing of a society's bloodstream. If blood stops flowing, the body dies. If money stops circulating, the economy collapses. And this wasn't just about greed. It was systemic. When the wealthy hoard money, artificial scarcity is created even when there is no real shortage. Then there was speculation. Al-Ghazali had no tolerance for it. Those who profited from crises, manipulated prices, or created artificial shortages. To him, these were not clever merchants, but morally bankrupt individuals. Whoever profits from the suffering of others, he wrote, profits from corruption. And corruption is contagious. One person does it, another justifies it, and eventually everyone starts to see it as normal. A familiar story, isn't it? But make no mistake. Al-Ghazali was not against trade. He was not against profit. He defended honest commerce. What he condemned was cheating, lying, false weights, and hiding defects in goods, because he understood something very clearly. Markets stand on trust. The moment trust disappears, the economy collapses. What we today call information asymmetry or moral hazard. He had already grasped centuries ago, not through technical language, but through an understanding of human nature. When it came to the state, he was just as uncompromising. He openly called the debasement of currency, reducing the value of coins theft, because it was a hidden tax on the people, and it hurt the poor the most. In his view, the state should protect markets, it should safeguard trust in money. It should not destroy the system for short-term gain. An unjust government, he believed, destroys prosperity faster than any enemy. Al-Ghazali's conclusion was crystal clear. A society can survive poverty, but it cannot survive corruption. Economies do not collapse because money runs out. They collapse because trust runs out. Money, at its core, is a belief system. When people lose that belief, the system stops working. What we see today in countries where people flee their own currency is exactly this. Al-Ghazali understood people very well. People hoard out of fear. They speculate out of greed. They cheat when they think they won't get caught. And when everyone does this, collapse has already begun. That's why he said, "You cannot fix an economy without fixing incentives. Rules are not enough. Numbers are not enough. No system can survive without accounting for human behavior." Al-Ghazali was not preaching. He was describing reality. He understood that money is not a mechanical tool, but a moral order. And when that order breaks down, the financial system collapses right after it. That is why he still matters today. In an age of rising debt, rewarded speculation, and declining trust, his message remains relevant. When money becomes detached from morality, the system will eventually break. History does not repeat itself exactly, but if you fail to understand it, it will still crush you.